The last few Nintendo Directs have been rather mid, but this is probably one of the best Nintendo Directs we've ever had, especially for the Nintendo Switch. For me, probably it's in the top 5 best Directs we've ever had. And this Direct is chock full of some amazing announcements, so let's just jump right into it. The first announcement I'm going to cover is Mario & Luigi Brothership. This is a new installment in the Mario & Luigi series of games, and the first one in 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, I think. It's been quite a while since we've got another one of these games, and I love this series for the longest time. This is a massive leap forward for the franchise. I felt as if this series was a sort of spiritual successor to the classic formula established by the first 2 Paper Mario games that have more traditional RPG elements. Though I absolutely love the art style and the graphics. It looks stellar, especially for a Switch game, which you might hear quite a bit during this video. Mario & Luigi Brothership comes out on November 7th, and I can't wait. The next thing announced by Nintendo is the Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. It looks cool, but not really my thing. I'm not a big speedrunner, but it's cool to see if they have some sort of versus mode where you might be able to turn this into a really fun party game. But playing by yourself, at least for me, would feel rather boring. But it'll still look like a great game. Nintendo World Championship NES comes out on July 18th. These next few announcements, I'm going to just speed run through because I don't really find them all that interesting. So let's just jump right into these speedrun ones. Fairy Tail 2 looks pretty good. If you loved the first one, you'll probably love this one too. But if you didn't buy the first one, you were unlikely to buy this one anyways. Jumping into the next one, Fantasia Neo Dimension, at least to me, looks like another Bravely Default generic JRPG that I'm not going to buy, but those people who really like those kinds of games have probably already pre-ordered this game, so I'm not too enthused about this overall. Both this game and the previous come out this winter. Nintendo Switch Sports has got another piece of downloadable content, this time basketball. Yep, I totally thought Nintendo has completely given up on this game, but color me surprised when I saw this. It looks cool, but not something I was going to be hopping back on to play, because I don't think I've touched that game since the first month it came out. Nintendo has a lovely habit of dropping their sports games with absolutely no content at launch, then slowly trickle-feeding some content to boost some engagement into their systems or games, but overall just leaves most people not coming back to the game at all, because why come back for one small thing, one game mode or something like that? It's not going to radically change the game experience. If all those were in there from the start, it would be really cool. It might keep you playing longer, but getting these sporadic random updates for one individual sport is unlikely to bring many people back to this game. Drops this summer. The next reveal is Mio Memories in Orbit. This game looks amazing. It's an indie title, but I wish we got a little bit more info about this. All we know is it's coming out in 2025, so be on the lookout, I guess. Next, we have a Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which quite literally is just Animal Crossing New Horizons, but Hello Kitty. And I'm unlikely to buy this game. I highly doubt anybody over the age of 12 is going to buy this game unless you're a really big fan of Hello Kitty, so there you go. This next game is the whole reason why we knew this Direct was even happening in the first place. Among Us is getting a huge new content update, where you get to play as a few new crewmates and a few new imposters. Some new roles, neat, but I haven't touched Among Us for 2 or 3 years, so at least this announcement is really cool, but not really for me. The last game for this speedrun section is Farmagia. I have no idea how to pronounce that. To me, it just looks like some shitty RPG mixed in with some bad farming sim elements. This comes out this November 1st, so I guess if you're into that, you can have something to look forward to in November. The next main announcement is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and I love this game. I played it so much on my original 3DS when it got ported to that. It has been a long time since Nintendo has made a new Donkey Kong Country game. And I bet this is Nintendo seeing engaging audience reactions to see if people are interested in a new Donkey Kong Country game. And yeah, it looks like a Wii game, but HD. Either way though, I am very excited for this to come out on January 16th. Dragon Quest III is getting the 2D HD remake styling, which is really cool. but I'm starting to get a little tired of the HD 2D style. We see this, quite frankly, too much nowadays. I have never played Dragon Quest III, so this might be a good opportunity for those of you like me who haven't played this game before to give it a try. They also announced Dragon Quest 1 and 2 to get HD 2D remakes as well, but those come out later in 2025, which to me is a little confusing because why make the third game remade first over the first two? Kind of confusing, but who cares? We're getting Dragon Quest III, and I guess that's all that matters to people. Next, we have probably the worst game of this direct. Funko Fusion is a weird Skylanders-style game where you play as your favorite Funko Pops, and I'll be honest, this looks absolutely terrible from the gameplay, the graphics, just top to bottom, bad. Frankly, it's insane this game even exists because I don't remember the last time I cared about Funko Pops, let alone thought about playing them in a video game. And that might be a little bit of bias considering my pure unadulterated hatred for Funko Pops, but overall, this just looks like a terrible game. The graphics look absolutely dog water, and possibly the worst third-person action game I have ever seen. Next, we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which I thought had already came out on the Switch, but turns out I was wrong. This is the HD remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS. So now all the Luigi's Mansion games are on Switch, and it comes out soon, June 27th, which I probably would have assumed that they would have saved this for like October, November to try to get, that spooky season vibe and get a lot of people interested in the game then, but I guess not. It can be a summer fun game, but I'm not a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion, but it is nice to have all the games now available on Switch. Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is a sequel to one of the best indie games that had come out in the Switch's early life, and now is finally getting a sequel. I don't really have much to say about this, but my brother is super excited. He loved the first game, and he can't wait for this to come out on July 15th. Nintendo Switch Online is still a thing, and getting some awesome new games. First off, Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure is coming back with its multiplayer function restored via online multiplayer, which is really cool. Perfect Dark from the N64 is coming back, so is Turok, which is already on the Nintendo Switch in multiple different ways, but I guess it's nice to have it if you haven't paid for that version yet. You can just get it included with your Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack subscription. The last game that they added to Nintendo Switch Online is Metroid Prime Zero Mission. It's probably one of the best Metroid games of all time, especially for the 2D section of the Metroid franchise. Probably, for me, one of my favorite Metroid games of all time. I remember playing that on so many different emulators, and it's been the primary way I've enjoyed 2D Metroid games. And now seeing it come to the Switch on NSO, it's a tremendously fun game, and I'm very excited for a lot more people to have access to this and give it a shot. Next is Super Mario Party Jamboree. Bad name in my opinion, but it's fine, I guess. It is a bunch of new Mario Party maps, new boards, and minigames, and has 2 returning maps from previous Mario Party games. But what I think stands out the most is you can compete up against 20 players, which sounds insane in a total crap show. This will be the biggest Mario Party game yet, and I'm very excited and I can't wait to give it a shot. Honestly, having 20 players sounds like way too much, but we used to think having 4 concurrent players on 2D Mario might be too much, and it is, but it's a kind of chaotic fun that I can really get behind, and the idea of playing 20 players online sounds criminally insane. The idea of stealing and just robbing stars and coins off of people sounds so funny. This game comes out on October 17th. Now, this next announcement is probably one of the biggest ones yet. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom switches up the traditional Zelda formula by putting Zelda herself in the lead character role for the first time in a long time. And if I'm being honest, the only other time I can remember Zelda being the main character is in Legend of Zelda The Want of Gamelon on the Philips CDI, which is a just terrible, and I mean terrible game. If you haven't checked it out yet, go look at it. You'll understand what I mean by it is the worst thing my eyes have ever beheld. Tangent aside, The overall art style of this game is identical to the same one they used for the Link's Awakening remake that they did on Switch a couple years ago, and it once again looks absolutely beautiful. This storybook sort of like handcrafted feel of the world is just stunning as always, and I can't wait to give it a try when it comes out this September 26th. I'm just going to run through these next couple titles again because, as you already know, I'm not a huge fan of these games, so I'm just going to just jump and just blitz right through these. Just Dance 2025 is coming out with new songs and new dances and all that. So your standard Just Dance fare, that comes out in 2025. Stray is coming to the platform. One of the best indie games of last year is coming to the Switch this holiday season, which is super cool. Next is Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. It's a cool game, but it's nothing I really would play. Not really my style, but it's super exciting for fans of Ace Attorney to have this coming to the Switch. It comes out September 6th, and the last two games, frankly, I don't even remember their names. They're two similar looking JRPGs that to me look nearly identical. I apologize if you're a fan of either of those two games or are excited for those to come out, but I can't begin to tell you how little I care about those JRPGs that just flood the Switch. The very last thing Nintendo revealed is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We've waited 4 years for this, really being shown off back in 2017 and then changed developers back in 2019, and it's been nothing since from Nintendo, nothing but silence. But finally, Nintendo has decided to show off a gameplay trailer, and it looks amazing. This is probably one of the best looking games on Nintendo Switch. The combat, the whole cinematic that they showed at the very end just was jaw-dropping. The combat looks so fluid and fun and easy to do. It just looks like a very satisfying game, and I seriously can't wait for this to come out. This is going to come out in 2025, so if I had to guess, this might be a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2. A lot of these games that say coming out in 2025 either give me the vibe that they're going to be on the Switch 2, or very, very early in the year, like January, February sort of time frame. Overall, this is probably one of the most packed directs we've had in a very long time. There's something here for everybody. Everybody has a game that they might like from this direct. It's honestly amazing. Some highlights for me are Mario and Luigi Brothership, Metroid Prime 4, and the last game that I'm really, really excited for is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Some of the best platformers and RPGs we've ever had are getting sequels or remasters. Just some of the best games Nintendo has to offer have been announced. I'm so excited, and the last year of the Switch is going to be amazing. I was a little worried early on in the year that the Switch's year kind of looked really barren, and the Nintendo Switch was just going to go out with a whimper and a sob. But now it looks like Nintendo is really trying to give the Nintendo Switch's last year going off with a big bang. What is your favorite thing that got announced today? I would love to hear what you guys think down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know what to do with our other social media coverage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.